Hi, this is a practice for the sides of the body and for the shoulders. Showing the sides of your body some love is super beneficial, not just for spinal and trunk mobility, but also for breathing. So we'll include a little bit of breath work in this practice too. You'll need to have either a gorgeous ball or Pilates ball, something soft and inflatable, or a rolled up blanket or towel, and then maybe something to help support your head, so a pillow or a cushion for that. And then before we start, you'll take a moment to figure out the right amount of support for your body with whichever tool that you're using. So this is going to be a side bend over, a supported side bend over whichever prop you're using. So you're going to lay one side of the body about mid-rib over the ball or the towel, and check and make sure on both sides that you have the right amount of height for you. Too much height and there might be too much sensation and it's not very enjoyable. Not enough height and there just might not be anything happening or going on. So figure that out for your body, and then we'll go ahead and get ready to start. I'm going to come into a comfortable seat. If you want to have any support underneath you, go ahead and add that. And we'll just take a moment to check in and feel how your rib cage and upper back and sides are moving before we begin. So finding that comfortable seat, you're going to take your right hand out to the side, and it doesn't have to be too far here. And then a couple of times we're going to reach the left arm up and overhead and over towards the right, just to notice how the left side of the body is moving and how that feels. Good. And then you're going to take that left hand, you're going to reach it across, turn towards the right, and reach the fingertips behind you. So coming into a twist, and then unwinding that, following your fingertips behind you the opposite direction. We'll do two more of those. Reaching behind to the right, follow the fingertips behind to the left. One more like that. Reaching, and then coming back. Good, and then we'll come into the first side release. So, whatever tool that you're using for your rib cage, and then your support for your head and neck if you want to use that. Laying roughly mid-ribs over ball or blanket. That bottom arm can go anywhere that's comfortable for you. So make sure that your head and neck feels supported here. And then also making sure your lower back feels supported. So bend up the knees any amount, maybe bringing them up roughly to the height of the hips. Maybe feet a little bit forward. And we'll keep the pelvis nice and still. And we're going to repeat that last twist, but this time lying down. So that top arm, the same one that moved last time, is going to come down onto the floor. So just slide forward and then reach up, follow your fingertips with your eyes, turn your ribs and look back. Two more like that. Bringing the hand forward, a little twist as far forward as you want to go. Turn, eyes follow fingertips, reaching behind you, last one. Slide your hand forward, you might look all the way down towards the ground there. Follow your fingertips and reaching behind, coming back, and let that arm rest down by your sides. And this time, start to reach your fingertips away from you, and then as the fingertips reach away, take that arm up and overhead, and then back down. We'll do two more like that. Fingertips reach away, up and overhead, any amount overhead that your body is willing to move. And then last one, fingertips reach away, and then up and overhead, relaxing that arm down by your side. This time, without moving your rib cage, take that top arm forward and then sweep it down, so the fingertips will sweep down towards your knee and then back and behind you. So again, any amount without allowing the rib cage to turn. Sweep the arm forward, any amount, sweep it back and behind, ribs stay still. Last one like that. And then this time, as your fingertips reach back, we're going to put all of those movements together. So reach your arm up and overhead, forward and down, and then back again, ribcage staying still this entire time. So a big circle of the shoulder. We're going to do that one more in this direction. And then we're going to swap. So once your arm is forward again, reach the fingertips away, back and behind, ribcage staying still. We'll do that 2 more circles, not too fast, not too slow kind of pace, and just noticing how that feels through the shoulder and the arm and also the side of the body. And then with that last one, you can go ahead and let that arm relax. It can either relax down by your side or it can relax palm of the hand onto the floor. Just pause here for a moment, check in, see how the shoulder feels. We're going to do a little bit of breathing into the top side rib cage. So they're in this slightly arched shape because of the support we have underneath. This is a little bit of breath awareness, one side of the body at a time. Now, I'm going to take the top hand, I'm going to place it, if it's comfortable, place your hand as close up towards your armpit as you can. If the hand and the arm don't want to go there, maybe taking a separate towel or blanket, just something a little bit light, is to give your brain a little bit of feedback on where we are breathing into. So if you need to pause for a moment and find something else to lay across the ribs, go right ahead. So either the palm of your hand or a towel, something over you here, and right up towards the armpit, as close as you can get. We're going to take 3 breaths into that palm, okay? So when you're ready, in your own time, taking an inhale and imagining that you're breathing into the palm of your hand. You can sigh your breath out or you can exhale naturally. 2 more breaths into the palm of the hand, inhaling. Maybe there's some movement at that armpit, at the upper side ribs as you inhale. A little release as you exhale. And maybe there's not movement, and that's fine too. This is just a practice, but it's worthwhile coming back to, especially if you don't feel a lot of movement here initially. 1 more breath. Good. And then you're going to move your hand down a couple of inches to about the middle of the rib cage, and you're going to repeat the same practice. 3 breaths into the mid-ribs, into the palm of the hand here. And as you breathe, you might notice, do you sense more movement here, less movement here? There's no right or wrong answers to that. But this is a great practice to really help get you focused on your breath. It can be quite soothing. 1 more cycle of breath here. And it's a really good awareness practice of rib cage movement as we breathe. Last one, your hand is going to come down lower, right to those very bottom, almost towards the floating ribs or the top of the waist here. And then same thing, 3 breaths. Do you feel any movement, more movement, less movement here? It's just questioning and exploring, no right or wrong. And then after that third breath, let that arm relax wherever is comfortable for you. So again, down by your side, the floor in front of you, or maybe even overhead for a moment, but not stretching or reaching. Let the arm really relax. So maybe the arm rests on the side of the head or your ear. Bring your attention back to your breath here. Can you sense any movement in that entire side rib cage, armpit, middle, lower bottom ribs? One more breath. You can sigh the breath out if that's helpful to you. And then we're going to ease back up to sitting. Use that arm that's on top. Look down towards the floor. Walk up using your hands. Come back up to your comfortable seat. So whatever that is in your body. Sit for a moment. And then we're going to recheck that side with that little movement practice. So once more, taking your right hand to the floor, reaching the left arm up and overhead. Just seeing how does that feel? How does the side of the body move now? How does the arm and shoulder move? And then trying that twist, reaching the fingertips across, back towards the right. Follow the fingertips with the eyes, round to the left. Two more. Seeing how does that side of the body turn. Last one, how does the arm feel as it reaches? And then relax. Pause for a moment, check in mentally with both sides of the body. Does that move side feel any different or not? Whatever this story is for you. Then we're going to swap sides. So we'll start with the same check-in movement practice on the right side of the body. So left fingertips coming down towards the floor, and then the right arm reaches up and over. So try that 3 times. Notice how that side of the body is moving compared to the one that we've just given a little bit more attention to. Good. On that 3rd time, you'll take that right arm, reach across the body, over towards the left, and then back, following fingertips with the eyes. 2 more times, reach across, and then back, and then the last one, reaching, and then out. Good. Now, as you swap sides, just notice that you might want to change the amount of height from one side to the other. Maybe you discovered that when you were setting up. So if you need to make any changes, please feel free to do that. Taking the left side rib cage now over the ball or over your blanket or towel, whatever you're using. Take a moment to make sure that your head and neck feel supported here, and also the lower back. So place the knees and the feet anywhere that feels comfortable and supportive for you. And then we'll start with that continuation of that twist. The arm that's on top is going to slide forward. You might end up looking down towards the floor. And then follow your fingertips with your eyes, turn back. So the rib cage moves with this first practice. We're continuing that little bit of rotation. Arm reaches forward, And back. Last one. Fingertips slide any amount forward. Reach that up. All the way back. Good. And then let that arm relax down by your side. Reach the fingertips away from you, down towards the feet or towards the opposite direction. And then arm comes up and overhead. So this is any amount, wherever it gets to on its own. So reach the fingertips and then overhead. And then the last one, fingertips reach away. Arm comes up and overhead. And then back down, arm will sweep forward, and then back. And then this time, we're not moving the rib cage. So this is the arm on its own, moving through the muscles of the upper back, shoulder blade, arm, and chest. Last one, fingertips reach forward as the arm reaches back. Rib cage stays still, and then combining all those movements, taking that top arm up and overhead, circling it around 3 times in this direction. Arm reaches back and up, forward and down, and then last one, and then we'll swap. Back and up, over, and then swapping. Arm reaches up, and then back. And then with each turn, just noticing how that movement feels in your shoulder, but also at the side of the body, the side of the rib cage. One more. Arm reaches forward, back, around, and then let it relax. Readjust at any time if you need to. Take a little pause here. This top arm can rest anywhere. And same thing, we're going to come back to that breath, this time into the right side rib cage. If it is uncomfortable in your arm or shoulder to bring the hand up that far, using something, again, a light folded towel or eye pillow, anything that gives you a little bit of feedback. And that's all we're looking for here. It doesn't need to be your hand. So whatever you're using, hand, different object, coming right up towards the armpit and resting on that side rib. We'll take 3 breaths here. And then you're breathing as you inhale into the palm, letting that relax back down as you exhale. 2 more times, and just maybe note in your body how that feels on this side. Is the movement same, different, anything moving, nothing moving? Again, not so much about right or wrong, really just exploring, figuring out. Last breath. Noticing how your body moves and responds to the practice. Slide the hand down a couple of inches to about mid-ribs. Same thing, 3 breaths here, breathing into the palm of the hand. Notice, is there more or less movement of the ribs? Any or none? And let this be a practice. There's no right amount of rib movement here. One more breath. Inhaling into the palm of the hand. And exhaling. Let that relax. Those exhales can all be sighs or breathing out through the nose, whatever feels maybe even more calming or soothing to you. And the last one, hand moving down to the lower bottom ribs, top of the waist, and 3 breaths here. Taking your time, paying attention. how does my breath move in this side and on lower bottom ribs? One more cycle of breath. And then letting that arm relax. Down by the side, in front of you, overhead, but if it's overhead, there's no effort here. It's a nice floppy arm. Couple more inhalations and exhalations. Can you sense the rib cage moving without the palm of the hand to guide you? And getting ready to come back up. Take that top arm, place it, the hand on the floor in front of you. Look down a little bit towards the floor. Use the arms to help bring you back up to your comfortable seat. Prop something up underneath you if that is more comfortable for you. We'll do one last check-in this time for the right side of the body. So right arm will reach away, left fingertips onto the floor, and this time as you side bend, how does that feel compared to that first side? That first practice, rather. Last one. Good. And then coming into that twist, reaching the fingers across, back towards the left, across, towards the right, eyes following the fingertips. Notice how the torso moves, how the ribs move, how the arms move. Good. And then come back. Let that side relax. Take just a moment to see how both sides of the ribs, spine, waist, shoulders, arms, how they all feel at the end of the practice. Maybe just check your neck here as well. We didn't talk about the neck, but sometimes it's a nice little side benefit to that side body release. Taking one hand, placing it over your heart center, the opposite hand on top. One final breath here together. So an inhalation through your nose. And a sigh. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope that practice was of benefit to you.